I was born in northern Indiana, but grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. My family back there had a lot of coal mining tradition. I was able to, at about age 8 or 9, go out with my great uncle to visit his small operation and got to light the fuses on black powder blasting and enjoyed that. It made me want to come out west. I came out to Colorado School of Mines to start a mining engineering course. By then I was starting to lease some of my own mining operations, and I had a mine up in Boulder that I needed to pump out every morning at about 3 a.m. And Boulder was closer than Golden, so I transferred to Boulder and received a geology degree. With that geology degree, I came to Climax. They had a job offer in the Denver Post advertising section. They had an advertisement for 2 different jobs. One was to be a core splitter in the geology department. The other was to be a industrial engineer in the engineering department. The core splitter paid $450 a month, and the engineering was $500 a month, so I became an engineer. Everybody started underground at Climax at that time. If we were enthusiastic and tried to learn from the practical people, it was a wonderful opportunity to learn about real mining. They taught me so much about, even after my experience as a small miner, small miners tend to cut corners. People didn't cut corners at Climax. Both management and the practical men, they had the experience to know that you better do it right the first time because you may not have a second shot at it. It was a very important part of my career to work with men who really knew what they were doing. I liked everything about my mining career, whether it was technical or political or legal, environmental. I had such a wonderful opportunity in my career to do some of each and all of the above. I particularly liked the opportunity to travel all over the world, and travel not as a tourist, but as somebody who is actually working with local people who are also sort of like those practical fellows I talked about before. You're not just on a tourist bus when you go into a country like Fiji and you're about to build one of the biggest mines in the world. Well, in terms of equipment changes over the time I've been in the business, the automation just fascinates me. The mine I was involved with in Australia, Mount Newman, is now operated by BHP, and they've been automating the operation of everything from drill rigs, blast hole drill rigs in the pit, to loading the shovels and the big trucks, operation of the railroad, the operation of the port. The only people in the north now are going to be maintenance people. The operations themselves are operated from 750 kilometers away at a control center near the Perth, Western Australia airport. To think that they can actually move hundreds of millions of tons of iron ore with automated trucks is a very interesting thing to me. Well, at Climax, some of the environmental issues dealt with were particularly water treatment and protecting the streams, the 10 Mile that goes into Summit County, the Eagle that goes into Eagle County, etc. Those were always front and center. But generally, revegetating dumps and things like that, Climax was very positive in its approach. It cooperated with the first legislation for mine land reclamation in the state, very cooperative. And Climax at the operation had a fellow named Larry Brown, Dr. Larry Brown. And he had training in the ecological fields, and he managed to really put together some interesting innovations. For example, the ski area industry, the Public Road Department of the state of Colorado, Highway Department, and Climax put together with Colorado State University a set of seminars that lasted for years. It may still be going on, as far as I know, on the issue of high altitude revegetation. And it's one thing to say to a mining company, go out there and make those dumps look nice with grass. It's another to make it actually work in a practical way. I remember an incident that's amusing. At one point in time, somebody used a biannual grass to do some reclamation. And boy, that first year we were so proud. We had this nice crop of grass coming up on one of the dumps. It was an experimental dump. After the second year, they all died. We didn't know that there were plants that died after 2 years. We thought you put it in there and it was perennial and we would be okay. So I'm very proud to have worked with a company that really always was looking to do a good job and get it done and do it practically.